Hello friends, how are you all? Hope you are doing great at various aspects of your lives. Welcome to another book review podcast by Team ThinkerViews. Leadership and management are the abilities that anyone who wants to be in an administrative position needs to master. Actually, all of us plays different roles in our lives at different stages and places. At office, you may be a subordinate, but for your immediate family, you are the head of the house. Your household decisions might be taken by the elder family members, but maybe kitchen is your domain. Your parents take decisions about your school and other stuff. But in the class, you may be the prefect or monitor. You may be just another student in the class, but in the sports team, you may be a captain. So, in my opinion, everyone needs to lead from the front at some point in life. And thus, the lessons of leadership and success must have been learned by us all. Recently, we came across a series of books in Spirituality for Leadership and Success by Pranay. From our team, I got a chance to read Gita, Spirituality for Leadership and Success in the same series. Anything that is related to Gita or Mahabharata fascinates me. So, I grabbed the opportunity and here are my personal and unbiased views and reviews for the same. Let us take a look at the cover page of this book. All the books in this series are having very attractive cover pages. Clear white outer background gives a simple yet rich look to the cover page. In the center part, you will find pink to blue shades of colors in the form of an artwork. And within that, you see an illustration of Lord Krishna giving the Gita Gyan to Arjun. The clear fonts used for the book title and the author name adds a positive impact to this clean and colorful cover page. I like this simple yet impressive cover page a lot. Now let us talk about the book. Usually, we talk about any book in two distinguished segments. In one segment, we share a bird's eye view of the story, and in the another, our views and reviews for the same. The nature of this book is quite different, so we are merging both these segments here. The battleground of Kurukshetra signifies the day-to-day hurdles and incidents we go through. Sometimes we find ourselves caught with the same dilemma Arjun was possessed by. And when you are in the leadership role, you need to think clearly and decide what is the greater good for the group you lead or represent at that moment. So, considering Gita as a source of leadership lessons is a very logical decision. And being a set of wisdom and spiritual verses, it allows you to think beyond the material and mortal world. It thus helps you in detach yourself from insignificant, in greater terms, things and decide your spiritual path as well. The following passage in the book talks about the same. Detach yourself from the past, and then only can you look at things and act as if you have a new being. It is almost like a rebirth of vision. In Hinduism, it is called being Dvij, born again. In addition to explaining the concept of Dvij, the thought also reflects the following verse of Gita. Sukha dukkhe samikrutva labha alabho jaya jayo. The Dvij explanation could have been taken forward and explained why Brahmins are known as Dvij. Actually, the Yagyopavit or Yagnopavit Upanayan Sanskar or sacred thread ceremony is starting of a new life for a Brahmin kid. He then is expected to devote his life in learning for the greater good of everyone. Even a person's name can be changed during this ceremony. The author's thoughts of listing the lessons in the same context from Gita are thus significant. He says, the Gita is perhaps the most balanced mix of both practical and cosmically profound aspects of our existence. It is the art of war as well as the art of inner peace. Some people may think that even if significant and logical, the messages conveyed by Lord Krishna to Arjun may not fit in the current time or environment of scenario you got in. The answer is pretty simple. These verses possesses the timeless knowledge. What you need is the right interpretation. The author says, people often get misguided by old concepts, frozen in their mindsets. And here he means the necessity of having an open mind. Our Vedic scriptures tells us, Tanme manasiva sankalpamastu. We need to develop our mindset in a way that we get positive and blissful thoughts in our mind. As mind is the most powerful medium. If not controlled properly, it can play tricks with the person, him or herself also. And to move ahead, you need to leave the place and time behind. If you keep living in the same time or place, your progress would be stopped. It is applicable in both the material and the spiritual worlds at the same extent. And why we think too much before taking a bold step? Well, we worry about the outcome. The author says, the understanding of change leads to unattached and dynamic action, and overcoming fear of what may or may not happen. This is a loose adaptation of the famous verse from the Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal heturbhur mate sangotsva karmani. It neither detaches you from the responsibility nor proves you from the consequences of your actions. It simply says that karma or action is the only thing that you can control. The consequences may have input from many other sources. Not all your marketing campaigns or future plans succeed at the outcome level expected, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't act. And you also are responsible for all the good or bad outcome also. This is the way of life, and this is how you need to manage the things. It also doesn't tell you to do the things blindly. Of course, you have to analyze the things at the maximum possible level based on the time and resources you have, and have a plan according to your best educated input. At the same time, each person or generation has his or her or its limitations. The author says, each generation has its own pain points, and good leader knows how to address those. Very true. I like the way the author has defined a great person, and ideally a great leader has to be a great person. A great person is simple one, who can activate the deeper level of themselves in whatever they are doing. As we know, Indian way of life talks more about the greater and non-material aspects, and even the life after death and ever-living soul. It is thus talk about self-realization and knowing one's own self, finding answers within. Even the theory of chakras and awakening them is a part of the same. In author's own words, discover the divinity within your own being. That is the ultimate secret of the text. And you can only discover it when you are prepared to go beyond the conditioned confines of thought, and enter the world of spirit and heartfulness, which are the greatest parts of yourself. The book also talks about the tale of Nachiketa and Katha Upanishad. The most important lesson from the book is simple yet powerful one-liner. Never think you know everything. I like the way the author takes the discussion to another level. He indirectly says Dharma is much more than just religion. And the same rule applied to the leadership also. With the context of the conversation between Arjun and Krishna, the author says, the problem that has happened in religion and in leadership both has been that man has taken upon himself very central role. He feels he is the most important thing in the existence. And by showing how insignificant human beings are in the scheme of the universe, the Lord shows Arjun that greatness must begin with simplicity, with humility. I also like the way the author has referred to this question-answer session or Bhagavad Gita in the language the current generation can relate much to. Krishna hammers Arjun at a psycho-spiritual level into realizing that none of us as human beings really matter in a material way. The author has reflected balanced thoughts. He also has rightly suggested to remember when to put a limit. Thoughts can lead to logic. Thoughts can lead to understanding a concept in principle. But thought can also lead to confusion and dogmatic thinking. While planning is really essential, too much of it may lead to absence of actions, and that is more dangerous. If I had to pick one quote from the book that every leader needs to remember, I will settle for the following. As Krishna tells Arjun, whatever a great person does, others follow. My main purpose of including some quotes from the book is to give you a fair idea about the quality of writing without including spoilers. That's why I had to leave so many points in this discussion. But you must have got a fair idea about the book by now. I think it is a nice and enriching book that talks about spirituality and modern day management. Such books are not meant for time pass reading. You need to run a cycle to reread and implement the thoughts in actions to get the most out of it. If you plan to do so, go for this book. ThinkerViews rating would be around 7 to 7.5 stars out of 10.
So, have you already read the book? Are you planning to read it? What do you think about this book review? Do you find it helpful in deciding whether to go for the book or not? Please do share your genuine remarks via comments below. If you have enjoyed listening to the review, please hit the like button and do not forget to share it with your friends and other fellows whom you think such reviews interest more. Till we meet with our next podcast, bye bye, take care, namaskar.